night shift cutie at the truck stop knows my name. Threw the candle in the midnight oil and lit up the honky-tonk highway. I see the sun come up, cause I ain't been to bed. Gonna have my name cut into a stone when I lay my head. No rest for the wicked, at least for a few hundred miles. I'm running wild, ride the lightning, run on empty in the ring of fire. Rolling like the Mississippi, oh mama tried. But I got bad down to my bones, don't know where I'm gonna go, oh sweet child. I'm running wild, I'm running wild. Always been a runner, never been one for settling down. Spent my life in the backwoods looking for ways out of a one-horse town. I found a six-string ticket and jumped that westbound train. I only slowed down long enough to stand up on that stage. Cloud nine is a cloud of dust for the next 1,000 miles. I'm running wild, ride the lightning, run on empty in the ring of fire. Rolling like the Mississippi, oh mama tried. But I got bad down to my bones, don't know where I'm gonna go, oh sweet child. I'm running wild, yeah, I'm running wild. Mama, I'm running wild, yeah, I'm running wild. I'm running with the devil, rolling down the road, riding on the storm, living like I'm dying slow. Headlights in the fast lane is my home away from home. If there's light after this tunnel, I'm gonna be the first to know. No slowing down, no looking back, no staying for a while. I'm pedal down and right on track, I'm ready for this ride. I'm running wild, ride the lightning, run on empty in the ring of fire. Rolling like the Mississippi, oh mama tried. And I got bad down to my bones, don't know where.
Rodeo fans, welcome back to another episode of Reno Rodeo 365. I'm your host, Jen Fisk.
And I'm Tony Lucero.
And we're so excited to jump into another episode. We're just 114 days away from the wildest, richest rodeo in the West. Tickets are on sale now to not only the rodeo, but you can get your reservations for the dock bar, the branding room, or the kickoff concert on June 17th. Dylan Scott is coming to town so you can help us kick off an action-packed week on the dirt of the arena floor.
That's going to be an awesome show, too. I mean, I've had so many people that are excited about coming and already buying tickets, and it's going to be a really good one.
Absolutely. You can get your tickets online or come down to the rodeo office between 9 and 3 to grab your rodeo tickets and your concert tickets and avoid those service fees.
And I want to kind of kick it off this, just kind of give some highlights of rodeo news that's going around right now. Something that I've kind of seen that's different this year, that I'm feeling is kind of different this year, is we're seeing more of the big names out and about.
Yes, early on
than what we've seen. And I'm just assuming, but I think it's had to do with the NFR. The NFR, with as much money's out there, and the way the gaps were closed up last year, as far as these guys, jumping, leapfrogging. But we're seeing guys like Wacy Shala and Stetson Wright. They're already battling it out for number 1 and number 2 in the world, and we usually don't see those two coming into play for the world standings until after the Texas swing. But here it is. We're in the beginning of the season, and these guys are already running at it. I mean, tie-down roping's been the same. We've got Kincaid Henry, we've got Riley Webb. These guys were all last year at the NFR. They were all in the top 5 in the standings, and so I'm just seeing a little swing differently in
competition.
Yeah, the way these guys are really going at it. And we're seeing some new guys get into it. The Fort Worth. I mentioned the Texas swing. We had Fort Worth kick that off, and they call him the old guy of rodeo, but Tilden Hooper. 38 years old, and I mean 38.
Hardly old, but old for the
exactly.
sport.
But he's got a kind of a remind of what he's doing, and he ended up winning Fort Worth, and he's sitting in the top 5 in the world right now. So I think this is going to be an exciting year. Stay tuned as we get in, deeper into this, but I think we're off to a really good start for the rodeo season this year.
I think so too, and I think a big part of that had to do with the money that paid out at the National Finals Rodeo. And while the 2026 season started in October, the new year has truly just begun. The San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo is happening right now and ends on Sunday, so that will determine new adjustments in the standings. Next month we jump into 3 weeks of Rodeo Houston in Houston, Texas, and so that always moves things around in the rodeo world. So stay tuned. Follow your favorite athletes. I know we bring information to you monthly, but you can follow your favorite athlete from the cowboys or cowgirls to the stock and even stock contractors. If you want to, head over to PRCA.com and keep an eye on them from rodeo to rodeo, week to week, or even day to day if you choose.
Yeah. And like she said, let us know who you're interested in seeing on the show that we can reach out to and possibly get on the show where we can actually talk to them and get some answers for you.
Yeah. Speaking of the National Finals Rodeo, some good news that has come forth into fruition. Tucker Allen and the infamous truck that got stolen down there while he was competing has been found. It was actually found in a Las Vegas tow yard. A little bit disheveled, missing bumper, missing tailgate, and he, of course, with his winnings at the National Finals Rodeo, has already bought a new truck, so he plans on selling this one. But we're happy he found it, and kind of funny the way that it came full circle.
Yeah, it is. It's and and the PRCA is on that note, celebrating 90 years this year. 90
years. Congratulations.
Yes, congratulations to PRCA, and it's super exciting. They're celebrating their 90. It's America's 250th anniversary. Again, I think we're off to a good start for rodeo season.
I think so too. And Reno Rodeo is in good hands this year. And up next on this episode, we have the pleasure of sitting down with Reno Rodeo President Mark Sutton. We talked to him last year before we wrapped up the rodeo in June. He's over halfway through his reign, and after 2 years as a vice president, he has been able to put to fruition all the plans and ideas that he's been pondering and sitting on. So we look forward to talking with Mark here in a minute after this message from our sponsors.
Western Nevada Supply has been serving Northern Nevada for over 50 years, providing plumbing, waterworks, HVAC, landscape, hydronics, and industrial products. As a proud sponsor of the Reno Rodeo, we may rely on the technology of the future, but we are always committed to the tried and true traditions of the past. From our customers to our employees to the beautiful Northern Nevada community we call home, we treat everyone with respect and give the deepest level of care. Western Nevada Supply, keeping it old school since 1964.
Beyond the glow of the arena lights is a place that will elevate your rodeo nights. Don your finest chapeau and raise your glass in a venue that can only be described as Western first class. America is celebrating 250 years. The Dock Bar is the best place to revel and have a few beers. In 2026, we are looking for new partners. The title sponsor owns the room, but that is not all that it garners. Branding, publicity, and exposure to thousands, the Dock Bar is the place that always brings crowds in. Or for something you can hold in the palm of your hand. On top of each table goes your name, logo, and brand. Sponsor live music so the fun does not stop. The room is electric. People dance till they drop. This is where business meets celebration. Host your clients and teams with your favorite libation. Customize lunch or brunch for a midday meet with your crew. Mark Estee and the local food group know just what to do. Their options are endless, each bite beyond scrumptious. As for the cleanup, you just leave that to us. Reach out to us now. Do not delay before these unique opportunities right away.
Keep it dirty. Get outside. Join the movement, a proud sponsor of the Reno Rodeo.
Growing up in Michigan, I would love to tell you that I'm a cowboy, but I'm not. I'm a guy who did a lot of different things as a youth, grew up in the business world, developed a number of skills and talents that have served me well in the last several years around the Reno Rodeo. But when I got here, I just saw an opportunity and a place. And I personally believe that God puts you where He wants you. And I'm a believer in that. And if you had told me 20 years ago or 50 years ago that I'd be sitting here in Reno Rodeo talking about our event and my role in that event, I probably would have told you that you're, a little crazy, because I would have never thought of it myself. But the beauty of what God's plan is that it's always better than our own, okay? If it were up to me, I'd probably be back in Michigan, freezing even more than I am this week in Reno, and my life would have been a lot different. God has given me an opportunity to really stretch and learn some things here in the last several years. He's challenged me in many ways to be better, because I've made a ton of mistakes, just an absolutely ton of mistakes. And the advice that I would give many people that are following me is simply learn from those mistakes, because it's not uncommon. We're all human beings. We're not perfect. And the beauty of it is the fact that God gives us another chance. And if you're willing to pay attention, He might give you many, many chances. And with that, you can be successful, and you can usually do things you'd never dreamed that you would be able to do. But He will definitely give you another chance. And that's the beauty of not only faith, but I think it's the beauty of Reno Rodeo. I know a lot of people in this organization who've had ups and downs, and been blackballed, so to speak. And the message I would send to all of them is just hang in there, find a spot where you can be comfortable, and things happen. And a dear friend of mine who served with me on the Manpower Committee, a few years back, one day when we were sitting in, I think it was even this conference room, and I probably was saying something inappropriate about the fact that we had this or that wrangler or this or that problem, and she reminded me. She said, "Don't forget, you never know when the next wrangler that walks through the door is going to be president of the Reno Rodeo." And that's a fact, because we're all different people. We all come from different backgrounds. In the 107 years that the Reno Rodeo has been around, we've had a lot of different leaders, and not one of their skill sets is the same. They're all different. They all bring something different to the table, and the objective is to figure out what you're going to bring and how you're going to bring it. Well, I was a Christian before I came to Reno, and it took me a long time to figure it out. I was well into my life before I figured it out. But as a good friend of mine once told me, God courted you for a long time, Mark Sutton, and I'm thankful that He did. When it came to coming to Reno, I left Reno and went back to Michigan for a few years, actually. But the first time I was here and I actually volunteered and got involved with the rodeo, which would have been in 2007, I went back changed. I mean, I remember going back and talking to people and saying, this thing they do in Reno, this rodeo thing, I said, it's different. It's something I've never seen before. The way almost 1,000 people come together, volunteer their time, take time out of their day, out of their work schedules. We have people like myself back in 2007. I took 2 weeks off from General Motors, and my daughter and I flew out here to Reno, and I remember literally driving from the airport with my sister-in-law. She brought us over here. We got out, we went into the Manpower trailer at the time. We got our ID badges, and we ended up volunteering in the rodeo. And so it's just an amazing thing. We've come a long ways. I think that the original ideas for this year started as early as 3 or 4 years ago, even before I was the second vice president, before I had been elected. You start to think about the timing involved, and you start to wonder whether or not you could get elected as a second vice president. And then when you start to really look at the calendar and you realize, oh, it could be 2026, which it ended up being, then I started to look into some things relative to what the government was doing for 2026, the entire America 250 campaign, and all the things that are going to go into it over the next several months. Yeah, if I tried to take credit for that one, I probably would get into trouble. It sincerely was my wife and a couple of other individuals who knew that we needed to come up with a theme, and I simply said, we got to have something that works for this year. And obviously we knew that America was celebrating the 250th birthday, and there were 2 or 3 that came at me, and each one of them that I originally heard, I was like, yeah, it's good, but it's not quite right. And then there was a conversation probably about 1.5 years ago, it's been, And she says, how about America Loves Rodeo? And it kind of had this thing about it that I really enjoyed. I truly believe that America does love rodeo. My feeling is that if you don't love rodeo, it's only because you haven't been to one yet. Because I believe that anybody who's been to one, you can't help but love rodeo. So anyway, it was a good fit. The timing was right, and again, she's the creative one. I think ideally it's a little of both. I've been accused this year of being too much business, but that's the way I am. Greg Goss is going to be here next year, and he's focused on having fun, which I think we will. But I think we'll have fun this year as well. I'm just a business guy, and that's the way I operate. I'm having fun along the way, but there's definitely a lot that goes into it, much more than I ever expected. And you can't really appreciate it until you're right in the middle. I mean, I saw a lot of things happen as a second vice president when Carrie Ann was running the show, and then last year when Jim Neal and so on. And you learn things along the way, and that prepares you so that you're ready when you take over. But once August 1st hits and you're sitting at the end of the table and you're running meetings and you're facilitating this whole thing, there's a lot to it. Yeah, just about every past president I've ever talked to, they'll say, wait until January 1st. Because between August 1st and the end of the year, you're doing things, you're planning things, you're executing, you're laying the groundwork, but it was significantly different. And it was amazing how accurate they were when they said January 1st, because the new year started and it's kind of like a race. And every day I'm busy doing something, trying to make sure that we're ready. And George Combs, our general manager, is just a phenomenal guy, and he's done some great work this year. And between the two of us, I think we agree a lot, and I think we are, kind of covering for each other when we need to be. But he does the heavy lifting. I get to play president, and he does the heavy lifting. I think that the thing that I saw early on when I first got involved with the Reno Rodeo, and that goes back to 2007, was I believe there's a real opportunity within the association to treat people in a more realistic, honest, sincere, positive, respectful way. And I don't mean any disservice, and I don't want to discount anybody that went before me, but the rodeo is an organization that's 107 years old this year, and we put on a great performance. We actually do. But I saw a lot of opportunities where people would come and go, and oftentimes they left because they didn't like the way leadership handled certain things, And we still have ways to go here. We still have some opportunities to grow. But it's one of the things that I really wanted to work on this year, and what that means to me is I want to be available for people. If people want to give me a call, there's no reason why they can't call me. In years past, even as a pretty successful committee chair, and I am a director and so on, I oftentimes thought twice about calling presidents, because you don't want to bother them, And I think that's kind of the culture that we've developed. Whether it's good or bad, that's the culture. And I think that it means a lot to our membership, our volunteers, wranglers, members, directors, even past presidents. When you reach out to them, let them know that you're approachable, make sure that they're capable and willing to knock on your door, and then of course you've got to open the door and be open to what it is they're concerned about. If you'd asked me in 2007, I was coming to Reno from Michigan. I grew up in Michigan and worked for General Motors for 33 years, so that's why I'm so business oriented. If you'd asked me in that time, I would have never even suggested that I had the ability or the way it would work out would put me here today, which is kind of cool and kind of interesting. I used to come to Reno to have fun, because I could get away from Michigan and my job there for a couple weeks, and it was just an excellent opportunity to come in and see how a whole nother world lives, what they do, what they find valuable, and I just loved being a part of it. When I retired from General Motors in 2011, my wife and I moved out here I think it was exactly 75 days later, in October of 2011. And as I got more involved, one step at a time, there was some time probably around 2015 or 16 where I said, you know, that might be something I could do. And I talked to a few people, and other people had the same idea, and that was encouraging. And once I had a feeling that other people might have that idea, I thought, this might be something I want to go for. So that's how it started, and that's how it happened. Well, I would be lying if I said that it wasn't the feeling that everybody provides for you because you're sitting, you know, in this organization at the top. That's always fun, and I've been warned, and I'm sure it's true, that the day after the rodeo is over, your phone quits ringing, you know, and that would be okay, you know. But I think it's sincerely been the opportunity to talk to people, and like I said, I'm hoping people will talk to me if they have concerns, questions, you know, complaints. I'm not always going to be able to fix it. I'm not always going to be able to make it the ideal way for everybody. One thing I do know, you know, even just this week with all the snow that we've had in February, it's been a situation where you have to make decisions, and you know you're going to upset some people. Some people are going to be happy, and other people are not going to be happy, and you just have to do that. You know, you can't please them all, and if you try, you're not being a leader. You know, if you aren't making some mistakes, you're not being a leader. And I've stressed that a lot this year, that we have to step up as people that are in leadership roles and lead this organization. It's another really good question. I've spent a lot of time in the last several months not only thinking about leadership, I've been writing about leadership. If you read the bull sheet, every month I kind of feature something about leadership. But I think at the beginning, and the most important thing, you got to be approachable, okay? If you're not approachable, people are not going to want to follow, all right? I was talking to somebody just the other day, and they stressed the importance of leadership before the vision, because if we cannot sell ourselves as leaders, we're certainly not going to sell our vision. And so I think that's important too. And, you know, I think with everything comes personal integrity. If you don't have personal integrity, you don't have anything. If you have it, people understand it, people know it. It's not something you can personally develop, but I do believe that if you think about things, if you take the time to look at areas that need improvement and you think about things, and for me this year has been a lot about leadership, I personally believe that people will change regardless of what happens, because they will be taking a serious look at something, and it'll make them better leaders. So that's my goal. We've been, you know, the word I would use is blessed. A few years back, we had a committee dedicated to, you know, recruiting and retention. And at the time, it was probably the right thing to do, you know, because we really had to work. My belief is that there are so many people in this community that love the Reno Rodeo. If we as leaders do the right things, they're going to be drawn to us, and they're going to want to stay, okay? And so there's another topic that gets back to leadership and the importance of demonstrating, you know, how we want to be professional, how we want people to trust us, how we want to respect others, and those types of things. And once you start to do that, people take note. And once they take note, they will be knocking on your door, and they won't want to leave. So, you know, I've suggested that. I think there are people who've started to agree. And again, there are certain people that will never agree with me, and that's okay too. It's not going to look or feel, in my opinion at this point, it's not going to look or feel significantly different than it has in the past. We put on an absolutely phenomenal performance. I mean, we're, I don't know, number 5 or 6 in the United States across all PRCA rodeos. And so we're one of the leaders, okay? And one of the things that I've shared with our executive committee early on, probably in August, was the fact that if we want to really significantly get better, we as leaders have to step up, and we have to demonstrate the importance of, you know, being good, solid citizens each and every day, all the time. And that's a big lift. You know, it's to say, well, I'm going to be a better person. It's one thing, but to say it, I'm going to be a better person every day, every hour, and consistently demonstrate that, it takes a lot of discipline. And that's okay. I really believe that's okay. So I think the performance itself will look similar than it has in the past. I mean, we do some really great things. You're going to see a lot of flags. Okay, it's the 250th birthday of the United States. You're going to see flyovers. Probably not as many as I would like, but we're going to have a few flyovers. Okay, our national anthem is going to be sung by a pretty diverse group of people each night. We're going to have that. I know that my wife's working on that. But the rodeo, many of the same cowboys, cowgirls, animal athletes, announcers. We're going to have 3 announcers this year, which is really cool. But yeah, it's just an opportunity for all of us to get better, and that's my goal: continuous improvement. That is probably the biggest difference we're going to see this year relative to the rodeo and our June build-up and all the rest of it that goes in there. In years past, we used to have what we call our rodeo work day the week before the rodeo starts. This year it would be the 13th of June. However, because of the Nevada State Fair, that's going to be actually 3 or 4 days right the weekend before our rodeo. We've moved workday back to June 6th, and we'll do many of the same things that day. I'm sure we'll have to make some plans around the fact that the Nevada State Fair is going to be there later in the week, and we'll adjust accordingly. But that's where George Combs has done some really great work this year. We've been working with the director of the Department of Ag, J.J. Gogochia, and he and his staff have done a great job. They have a really good plan in place already, but they're recognizing the importance of trying not to bite off too much the first year. So it's going to be a very manageable situation. We're also going to have the Junior Livestock event going on the same time as the Nevada State Fair. So there's going to be a lot of people on the property. And normally they were there, or at least the Junior Livestock group was there late May. We've moved that up into June, and they're going to be there at the same time. So the property, the grounds are going to look a little bit different during the first part of June because we're going to have all that other activity going on. But once they're done, we're going to kick off that week of rodeo, and obviously we're going to have our concert on Wednesday, and we start with Extreme Bowls Thursday, and it's a race to Saturday the following week. I really think that I've had a great privilege in the last 18, 19 years that I've been involved with Reno Rodeo to see it grow, and it takes different forms. It's not the organization it was when I got here in 2007. We still put on a great performance every night. I was reminded by past presidents we put on a 10-day rodeo, and I think the point was don't get carried away, just remember what you do. And I think there's a lot of benefit in remembering the fact that we put on a 10-day rodeo. The challenge we have today that we may not have had even 5 or 10, 20, 50 years ago is that the rodeo that we put on inside of this culture that we call Reno, or the community we call Reno, is vastly different than it was even 5 or 10 years ago. There are challenges today that we never even considered. And I really believe that we want to be the absolute best organization that we can be. And to do that, it gets back to leadership. It gets back to challenging the people that are in the organization to do their very best, because I do believe that once you demonstrate that you can be that leader, people will follow, okay? We're all leaders at one time or another in our own right. And whether we're leading our whole household, whether we're leading our church, whatever it is, wherever God puts you, we have an opportunity to be a leader. And over the last several years, I've somewhat emphatically and somewhat subconsciously tried to bring that to the forefront so that people will understand that. I think that once they have some kind of a comprehension or an understanding of that detail, and they start to think about it, like I talked about earlier, sometimes we get better just subconsciously, okay? I believe God's at work in all of us, and He wants all of us to do better job, to be better people. So, it's just a matter of opening ourselves up, demonstrating vulnerability, being able to say, I'm not going to do this right every time. I'm going to upset some people. I'm going to make some mistakes. But once you recognize that and you can deal with that personally, you're going to be a better person and a better leader. So I think there's something to be said for that each and every time we get together, and kind of that's what I've been talking to people about, and it makes a few of them uncomfortable, but that's okay. One thing I want to share too, and this literally came across my desk, and I mentioned it in the bullshit article that's going to come out in March, but something came across my desk, and oftentimes I sit at my own desk and I ask myself, why do I do this? Because I spend a lot of time. You'd be shocked at how much time I spend, thinking and doing. And I was actually looking online, and I saw a small blip about a rodeo in Texas, and they talked about the fact that we're all trying to work hard. Okay, we're all trying to promote our community. And we all are trying one way or the other in terms of helping and developing our personal integrity. And those three things just hit a nerve with me, okay? And I think when we talk about the Reno Rodeo community, the people that put this thing on, the people that support it every day, the people that provide their hard-earned money through all the different organizations within Reno that step up and say, I want to be a part of the Reno Rodeo. So whether you're a sponsor, whether you're a volunteer, whether you're a past president, no matter what you are, if you're involved in terms of hard work, you want to give back to the community, and we all are trying to get better at personal integrity. If you think about those three things, you'll not only satisfy yourself, but you'll satisfy God.
Famous Dave's has the tastiest barbecue in town. We'll put our ribs up against anyone. We have the top pit masters from all across the U.S. Everything that goes into and out of our kitchen stems from Dave's philosophy: no amount of sauce can hide an inferior cut of meat. Low and slow, that's the only way to bring out the robust flavors and textures. That's why all the meat smoking is done in-house in each Famous Dave's location. Stop in to Famous Dave's and enjoy. 4925 Kitski Lane.
We really needed to build out a long-term relationship with a bank that was able to support the growth structure that we had in mind. First Independent Bank has been able to support that all along the way and has been absolutely necessary for every step of our growth.
Rustic Roping and Treasures, a proud sponsor of the Reno Rodeo.
Welcome back, everyone. That was a great interview from Mark Sutton, our president. Can't say enough about what this man has done for the association this year.
Yes.
What I'd like to invite everybody to, it would please Mark's heart, and it please ours as well, to invite you to Cowboy Church, which is on Sunday the 21st at 9 a.m. It's in Sponsor's Tent right outside here. It'd be a great time. We were there last year. Some great guest speakers as well. I think last year we had Jackie Crawford came in and spoke on behalf, and so, as much as we talked about, our Lord and Savior in there earlier, I won't jump back to it, but you'd be surprised on how many of the PRCA contestants follow it as well.
Yeah, it's a free event. It's in the big white tent on the north side of the fairgrounds at 9 a.m. on Sunday the 21st, which is Father's Day, and it's the perfect opportunity to come down as a family and then head over to Kids Day in the indoor arena. Again, free activities for the family to celebrate Father's Day. And dads, just for you, because Father's Day falls back on Sunday at the Reno Rodeo, we want to honor you and all you do. There will be a Father's Day brunch up in the dock bar with more details to come. So if you're interested in spending your Father's Day with the family at the Reno Rodeo with us and our family, plan on spending that day with us on the 21st.
Man, Jen, you're making me hungry already just thinking about that. On that topic, we had our annual crab feed last week. What a great turnout we had.
Yes.
Great food, great people. But we did something special this year for one of our own members, Bill Johnson. We took the 50-50 raffle that we had, and we donated half of that back to his family for his medical needs that he was inquired. So congratulations to the Reno Rodeo for stepping forward again and helping in the community.
And congratulations to the 50-50 raffle winner, and thank you everyone so much for all those that bought a ticket and participated. We know his family appreciates it as well. And keeping you connected as we promise in all things at Reno Rodeo, we have some announcements from our committees. The Businessman Steer Decorating has less than 50 spots available of the total 144 throughout the Reno Rodeo. So if you're interested in tying the ribbon on the back of that steer and being part of one of the most energetic portions of the Reno Rodeo. Jump online to renorodeo.com under the events tab and get signed up right away because it will sell out.
It's the next best event next to the mutton busting, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You get to see a little bit of everything in that business steer decorating.
Applications for Miss Reno Rodeo 2027 are live and available on the Reno Rodeo website. We're looking for horsewomen 19 to 25 years old, and you're encouraged to apply if you even have the slightest interest. It's a great opportunity to go through the pageant, have some personal growth, and just meet a wonderful group of ladies. Applications are due March 27th. If there's a business out there looking to not only be represented during the Reno Rodeo with a flag in the arena, but also be associated with the Reno Rodeo year-round, there is one opportunity left to be a title sponsor for Miss Reno Rodeo. So please contact the rodeo office for more details regarding what this exposure looks like and what this sponsorship can offer your business.
And I think we're getting ready to clean a little bit of house here too, Jen, with some past presidents posters.
Yes, Reno Rodeo is getting a head start on their spring cleaning by making room for the 2026 presidential artwork that will be revealed in April. All 2025 prints are $50, and all the years before that, 2001 to 2024, are just $25. So if there's a piece of artwork from the last 25 years that you'd like to get your hands on, contact Reno Rodeo Art at yahoo.com to reserve your artwork and your print today, and stay tuned for the big reveal in April from Mark Sutton's 2026 reveal. I have a feeling America Loves Rodeo is going to be incorporated into this one. And Reno Rodeo members, this one is for you from the Manpower Committee. If you've moved, changed addresses, updated your phone number, or have any other changes to your contact information, send them an email at manpower@renorodeo.com so they can get that updated. It's very important they have your contact information.
Well, Jen, we're 114 days away from rodeo.
That we are.
It's getting close. A lot of things are happening here, guys. Make sure to get your tickets, not only for the rodeo, but for the concert. If you can't get tickets, well, get them while you can now, because we also have the viewing party that we'll have to be able to have tickets for. So make sure and get them now, because they're going to go hot and fast here in about the next 30 days.
You've got us all excited, Tony, and we're excited too. We're on the final stretch. Next time will be under 100 days until the Reno Rodeo. We'll see you next time on Reno Rodeo 365. Hey rodeo fans, did you know the Reno Rodeo isn't just the wildest, richest rodeo in the West? It's also one of the best places to showcase your business.
That's right, partner. Whether it's on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, or even the big arena screens, we've got sponsorship opportunities that keep your brand front and center.
First up, Reno Rodeo 365, our monthly online talk show that keeps fans connected all year long.
Every episode brings in 15 to 20,000 loyal viewers. That's 15 to 20,000 chances for your logo, your message, and your brand to be in the middle of the rodeo action.
And during the 10 days of the Reno Rodeo, we go big. 5 live shows a day. Sunrise, midday, Live at 5, Viva El Rodeo, and the Winners Show.
Each one is packed with updates, interviews, and highlights. And every single one is a chance to spotlight you as a sponsor.
Want commercials? We've got 30 and 15-second spots.
Want your logo on screen? We can do that. Lower thirds, tickers, even step and repeat backdrops behind the host.
How about stingers? Those quick sponsor shout-outs that play before videos? Yep, we've got those too.
Or maybe product placement, giveaways. Host mentions. Or even feature sponsored segments. If you can dream it, we can make it happen.
Looking for something really unique? How about the exclusive drone camera shot, seen not only on the arena screens, but also nationwide on the Cowboy Channel?
Or sponsor logos right on the host and film crew shirts. Guaranteed exposure every time the camera rolls.
And let's not forget the Jumbotron network. 7 giant screens around the grounds, running all day from sunrise to late night.
Think rotating ads, sponsor takeovers, branded weather reports, even interactive trivia and social walls. thousands of fans on site, and your brand leading the way.
So whether you're looking to advertise year-round or shine bright during Rodeo Week, the Reno Rodeo live streams and arena screens give you the perfect platform.
Join us. Get your brand in front of hundreds of thousands of fans. Become part of the tradition, the excitement, and the family that is the Reno Rodeo.
For more information on pricing, we would love to hear from you today by emailing our marketing and advertising committee at maps@renorodeo.com.
Let's ride together.